My name is Dan Thompson. I'll be reading an excerpt from Console Wars written by Blake J. Harris. This is the story of Miles Monotail. Miles was your average 4-year-old fox. He loved to play with his friends, but his friends weren't really his friends. Whenever they saw Miles, they laughed and made fun of him. Why? Well, Miles wasn't like all of the other foxes. Miles Monotail had 2 tails. And as kids tend to do when someone is different, they made fun of him. It didn't help that Miles sometimes tripped over his 2nd tail and went rolling down the hill. Coordination was not one of Miles' virtues. Because of the rough time that his friends gave him, Miles became very depressed. One day he was walking along with his head hanging down when a blur and a whoosh crossed his path. There's only one person that could be moving that fast, and that was Sonic the Hedgehog. Miles thought Sonic was the greatest person in the world, and Miles wished that he could be as cool and coordinated as Sonic was. Most of all, he wanted to meet Sonic, and this was his big chance. Miles took a deep, deep breath, and at the top of his lungs, he yelled out, "Sonic!" The blur that was Sonic turned around and stopped in front of Miles. "You called?" said Sonic. "Oh, Sonic, you're my hero!" exclaimed Miles as he ran around and around Sonic. Well, you can guess what happened next as Miles tripped over his 2nd tail and fell down as tears came to his eyes. "Hey, cheer up, little fellow. What's the matter?" said Sonic. "Sonic, I want to be just like you, but I'm a freak. I've got 2 tails." Sonic leaned over to Miles and said kindly, "You're no freak. You're more special than anyone because you have something that everyone else doesn't have. And you can do things that they can't. And if anything, your friends should be jealous of you." "But I can't do anything special," cried Miles. "Oh, yes, you can," Sonic said. "I'll show you. You're about to enter Sonic's special training." Well, Miles couldn't be happier. His hero took him under his wing and started teaching him how to use his 2 tails to his advantage. He showed Miles how to curl his tails under his body so that he was like a very aerodynamic ball and could do Sonic's famous supersonic spin. Sonic then taught Miles how to use his 2 tails as a helicopter rotor so that Miles could fly around. Even Sonic couldn't do that. Needless to say, Miles was ecstatic. He was special. When his friends saw what Miles could do and what they couldn't do, they became deeply jealous. But also, every single one of them wanted to become Miles' best friend. But Miles, he had a new best friend. Someone who believed in him, someone who was his hero, and that friend was Sonic. Sonic was happy that he could help his buddy gain new confidence and new abilities. "See, Miles, you are special because you have 2 tails, and because of that, I'm going to give you a very special nickname. From now on, I'm going to call you Tails because you should always be reminded that you are special because you have 2 tails." So from that day forward, Miles Monotail became known as Tails. When Nielsen finished, he folded the paper and slid it into his pocket. The members of Sonic Team who'd been planning on hating every word out of Nielsen's mouth found themselves entranced by the story. One developer even moved to tears. After allowing a moment to let it sink in, Naka walked up to Nielsen and said, "You may call him Tails." Although moved, several of Sonic Team's other members remained unconvinced, sensing that the momentary camaraderie was about to fizzle away. Toyota blurted out a compromise. How about his real name is Miles Prower, but Sonic calls him by the nickname Tails. This suggestion managed to do the trick. Fox would go by Tails, but Sonic Team would take solace that in the fact in a fictional filing cabinet somewhere, there was a birth certificate with the name Miles Prower.